Hello and welcome. Today's date comes in that of Friday, the 4th day of September 2020. My name is Derek. This is the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades of the like, well, that's within each's own risk and their own reward. And it's been a long time since I've made a video, and I have been very busy, and it will remain that way well, until the start and even until the end of the Stanley Cup Finals. Especially once Game One of the Stanley Cup Finals comes to a conclusion, it might slow down a bit, and definitely when the Stanley Cup Finals is over, I'll have more time. I have been very busy with what I'm seeing as what is now a new career for me, in that of, well, not new as far as what people would quote unquote call gambling. I call investing, having some, well, just putting things in a computer called like fantasy football and such. But it's been very well for me, and I'm expecting an extremely good month this month. But hockey season will come to an end near the end of the month and the end of September. There'll be October, November will be an off season. Alrighty then, I'm going to try to do a cryptocurrency video, but even after I'm done this video, I'll be right back to work. It's 2:27 p.m. Eastern time. I got a deadline, I guess you can say, 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Colorado plays against that of Dallas. And Colorado's like 5 guys who could be in the lineup for all I know, that I don't know will be, that are injured, that might play. And I'm not going to find that information out till 3:30. And I still got about a bit of work to do before that anyway. So I can only make this about 15 minutes at max or so. And then if I have time later to do a crypto video, I will, because I'm going to go right back to work when I'm done this. So, I mean, silver market, this is Canadian dollars. We'll switch it to US when we're done, but it's practically the exact same thing. This level of resistance in here was, well, that hit in 2019, again at the end of 2016, attempted so in 2017, and not even close in 2018, or well, the earlier parts of 19 anyway. And then now the breakout, just a beautiful elevator right up, or whichever term you want to give it. Either way, a fantastic move nonetheless. Therefore, where do we take a look? Where are we going to go from here? What's the message of the market say? Where have we come from? Where are we now? Where do we have the potential to go? Well, where we have came from, of course, like I stated, was the resistance. And like we can see, of course, same thing. Resistance, playing within this range, and then breaking out of it to the upside with a fantastic break. And as it is now, it has had a little bit of a correction, but it has not even violated the 18 average, but it hasn't to the downside, but it hasn't done since the up. Price action came down to this level on August the 11th. And then it has just stayed up within the band, resisting it on the earlier stages, coming back down to support, finishing at that on the 27th, and then quickly, immediately having that test of the resistance and leaving it on the 2nd or on Wednesday, and now entering the lows yesterday and into just hanging in there for today as well. And what's the big deal to me? And quite frankly, if I'm cheering for something, I'm probably, for the next 30 days, I'm going to be hoping to brace to the downside with retracement of these lows, because just my personal situation, because of the National Hockey League doing so well, I'm probably going to be in the situation where I'm going to get some cash. I'm going to have to, okay, what do I do with it? And I'm only going to want to have so many paper rectangles that I'm probably going to want to buy some silver. So what would I rather buy it at? Yada, yada. So that would be my cheer for that purpose. Whatever happens, of course, happens. And if it breaks it to the upside, the potential for this market is going to be, well, it's extreme. It's been an extreme run. It's been outstanding thus far. And within this, in here, we can see even more towards this level of resistance, which was support on the Canadian side in 2012. And almost certainly a clear breakout amongst it. And really back to the upper end of this range in here. And the only time, at least in the recent level of the last 20, 30 years, close to 40, where we've had price action in this, and the only time it supported the area of around low 30s is where it's congesting a little bit above or in the general area at now. Hasn't even touched the 18 average yet as far as the price action goes on the weekly, which therefore, if it does, what happens? It goes down to 28, which would still be above, well, it can go down to, say, I'm not saying it will, but if we'll go down to 24, go below the 18 lows, but it would also be like still holding a 61.8% correction. And then you can go on the monthly chart and say, oh, the 18 average is rising here. This is like the must hold. And it is the must hold on this time frame. To me, this would be the one I would want to use. And it's a good long-term time frame as it is anyway. Clear break above the resistance because it broke above here, but it successfully held and stayed within the 18 and doing that for a long time with several attempts in crushing it. Really two, but the first one being big, of course. This one in here, just so much like teasing time. Oh, it's gonna go down, and then oh, there's your signal. But what happened after the signal? A little bit of pausing and it didn't go down. Okay, well, resist the 18. We can resist the area of support. That's a bearish signal. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it is. So now we have this spot at the 18 where it doesn't even break below, but it supports it, and then adjust the message of the market. Okay, so this down move doesn't look as good, and now it's another attempt to break out above the 18 averages of highs. Attempt number 2. No, this was, of course, the COVID situation, and then it quickly rebounded, and now back above this, and it's had a monstrous breakout, breaking above these levels. It's just a fantastic move thus far. And therefore, is it over? If it isn't, well, then it could just have phenomenal plays to the upside. Let's switch this to the US dollar time frame. Or rather currency, silver currency, so dollar, US dollar. And all the same shenanigans. Difference here is it's resisting thus far where it came from compared to the Canadian dollar. That's because of the US CAD cross, and really almost every USD and pick your country cross for that matter. And a lot of that has been, people say, oh, it's been manipulation of the price for the entire decade of the tens, as I like to call it. No one else called it that. I mean, that's one of the things back in here, because, oh, here's like the 80s and the 90s. And then I remember thinking back in the late 90s, what are we going to call the next decade? The zeros? I mean, and that's, oh, well, I'll just wait and see. And they never really called it anything. I guess the 2000s, I don't know. And then we got the 10s. Then now we're in the 20s. Then the 30s come after that. But whatever. 30s are a long time away. But this is a time frame you would use if you say, oh, where are we going to be in like a decent amount of time, which of course would be like over here. At least you could use a time frame to figure that out. And well, in this situation here, the question in 2030 will be, what would be the status of the US dollar? And if you were to put, and I've used this example before, but 10 years, you have to put something in a safe that's unopenable for 10 years, and then it's open. You can put your silver, your gold, you can put cash, you can put cryptocurrency, private keys. It's up to you. And to me, gold and silver, especially silver, is the only one I would even think of. Cryptocurrencies, is there any guarantee on that? Not really. To me, I like to say, I wish I could guarantee it, but I'm definitely guaranteeing it myself. It's really, that's really it. I mean, fiat currency has a chance of being worth nothing, and it has a chance of losing 20, 40, 60, 80%, 90% of its value, and that's just not like cool, fun stuff to have. So anyway, that's why I believe, of course, silver is the just most awesome investment, if you will, and I've been, of course, doing so for quite some time. So just a phenomenal move that I had throughout the entire 1970s. And then long correction, retest this area in 2011. And this was long in itself, but for what you'd want a cup and handle, I mean, the handle is usually the smaller vertical length than the cup would be. And it's not a surprise if the handle has a fast move up. And we look at this rate of ascent. We got this rate, which cumulatively is, well, the one I drew originally, I guess. So we can have these big rates of ascent that come up. Thus, if we are not finding resistance in this general area, previous high twice hit before is next key level, which is 50 US fiat dollars. And looking at this one, pretty much the same thing as we see on the Canadian dollar. A little bit in here, trying to get a little attempt to break out. Not really, but still correctly or successfully, I guess you could state, holding within the 18 average. And that'll be it. I gotta get back to work now, as it has been a very busy hockey season, and it's been fun. So I'm going to continue on doing that, because within such, it's I mean, there's no way, at least in what I'm playing, which is Showdown National Hockey League games, as they call it on DraftKings. There's no one better than me right now, which is a pretty cool thing, as I have totally probably had the best results of everyone. I think I gotta have the most 4-figure cashes, and that's what's so cool about it, is being able to just plan out what you're going to do and actually see the results come into play. Meanwhile, of course, trading cryptocurrencies. I do a quick little preview video within it, as there has been a little bit of down move over the last couple days, and we never did get up to the resistance. And I mentioned, we usually pierce extra. Well, we have the potential now to pierce less twice in a row, because this is most certainly a pierce less now, which is very rare to see, which is why I like to say, usually, but this is not all the time, or But anyway, on that. And then we have the down move, so I'll be going over that. And will we go below this level? I'll say maybe, but this will depend on the short-term run. I'll go over that later on. The one crypto, I'll go for two crypto currencies on the alt side that I really do like right now that I'm owning. Not like I'm owning many, but I own a few. And I think the DGB setup is fantastic. Fortunate enough for me where I was able to sell some DGB at the upper end of this range and then buy some back as it came back down here again. And within this on the weekly term time frame, I just love this weekly setup. This is to me just a phenomenal look. How it comes up on the breakout first in April to this key level. I'm not gonna, whatever this line is, I don't know what this line is, but regardless of the fact it resisted where it came from as support, and then all this grinding within the 18 and attempt to break out a little, and it failed, but if it can successfully hold in and then break above, then yeah. But this is a spot where you could have some people with a failed move, fast moves. That's why I'd be careful, because a move like this, if this fails, ouch. Which is why if you bought in with this, if you stopped out here, you got stopped out. But if you didn't, which means, okay, where's your stop down? And if you play, of course, that game, you can see how volatile it is on crypto. So you're breaking out at, like, say, like as it's going above like 280 or something, or even if you hit the 300 number. It wasn't. I don't know if it's not really. Yeah, it would have been a buy spot for me, I think, if I were to play that game. But that just means, you want to make sure, like, maybe around here you see it's breaking down, and that's like a move of like half its value. I mean, that's just how big the volatility of the crypto industry is, and how big silver will be too. I think moving forward too, with a lot of its moves. I mean, it did go from like $1 and change to like $50 in the 1970s. And I believe like 3-4 figure silver's coming, and there's a lot of sick moves in the cryptocurrencies as far as X moves are concerned, both up and down. And the next one is THETA, which is interesting mixed signals to a degree, but I'm not too concerned if this retraces lower until part of me actually wants it to for like buyback purposes. But the reason why is the daily chart. You can see it's been having a nice little run, pretty much sort of a retest of this level, and most certainly a large pierce above this 4,000 mark. But amongst it, we had the support looking like it might break down. But if it does, I just move this to the weekly chart, and oh my goodness, if this thing happens to find a successful where we came from, 18 lows, that is rising support, and then this from there, I mean, that's just a fantastic setup. And anything on the short term, if it does regain itself even before then, this thing has a likelihood to just go sky high crazy. But at the same point, I'll go over a lot more of these details when I have more time, much more time later on. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.